So maybe related to this, what role does the church have right now in speaking about this issue? I mean, there's some who say this discussion's lost. We just need to let the world be the world, and we'll just focus on the church. I mean,
you know, the fact of the matter is we're in this world, although we're not of this world. The fact of the matter is the church is the pillar and the ground of the truth. And we don't take the truth and hide it under a bushel. That's not the church. We don't live these completely separate, sort of bifurcated lives. That we are the light of the world. We are the salt that preserves. And so it's just completely, it's inconceivable that we would not speak to this issue.
I had a pastor tell me not long ago, he said, why don't we just say, let's allow everybody to redefine marriage on the outside, and we'll just maintain Christian marriage on the inside of the church. And I said, well, we tried that with the divorce culture.
Yeah.
And what happens? We wind up with churches that have said, we're just going to allow this to take place, no fault divorce on the outside, not speak to it, and then speak to it internally, and that collapses into the church. It transforms the nature of the church, number one. Number two, it's not loving to neighbor. We have an accountability to one another. Divorce hurts kids, hurts families, hurts the entire social fabric. So does the expanding out of marriage to where marriage doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why the state is involved in marriage in the first place. State doesn't have anything to do with registering people as friends. Doesn't have anything to do with those things. It has an interest in male-female marriage because male-female marriage can lead to something very dangerous for the state, and that is children. And the state has to say, who is the father of this child? Who's accountable for paying for this child? That's the distinction there.
And you think also the spiritual danger. I mean, just thinking of the role of the church as priest in the community. 1 Corinthians 6, those who practice such things cannot inherit the kingdom of God. This is in many ways a gospel issue because we fail to preach here.
Absolutely.
You know, I think of John the Baptist. I've thought about him in this culture. You know, I mean, just think about the absurdity of his death, and you can hear the critics today say, well, see, that's what you get from messing around in politics. Of course Herod's going to sleep with his brother's wife because they're the world. We got the world be the world.
Yeah. Why are you surprised?
Right.
That just kills me when people, why are you surprised? Like,
Jesus called him the greatest prophet that had ever lived. You know, up until his time. And you think of where is the spirit of John the Baptist who, I mean, are we willing to, the spirit of John the Baptist's the spirit of John the Baptist's enemies is at work within them today, but where is the John the Baptist in our culture?
Let me say quickly, and a hearty amen to that, but thank you for addressing what I think are two core issues as it relates to responding to the culture. Because they say, on the one hand, well, now you guys are concerned, but nobody says anything about divorce. That's a flat out lie. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, and there's a long paper trail of us, talking about this and dealing with this for a long time. And the second thing is Christians, and both of you have hit on this, Christians either saying, well, why are you surprised? That's them, this is us. Or saying, well, the state has no business and no place in marriage. And I think you just succinctly addressed
Nobody
that.
believes that.
Yeah, it's
unless you have children who are abandoned on the side of the road, and the state has no interest. If that's the kind of world you want to live in, then that's the case. But that's not the world anyone wants to live in. I mean, not even the Roman Empire was that bad off. And so we have to have the state coming in, even just at the level of adjudicating between people. What Solomon had to do, or who do these babies belong to?
A woman who's abandoned.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we do? Somebody's responsible when a woman's abandoned, and that becomes a judicial issue there. And I think what people are trying to say is the state doesn't have the authority to define marriage. And
that's exactly right.
And I'll go there, but they have to acknowledge what the definition is.
That's a good point. This is a discussion that needs to happen. It's probably going to need to happen a lot more on local church levels as people have got to get aware of why this is wrong and what it is. So I appreciate the wisdom you gentlemen share.
Thank you.